All right, good evening, everybody. For today's stream, we're going to be ranking the Stadium Series jerseys as they've been worn for the last decade. Thanks for hopping in here, and yeah, of course, with just a small group, your voice, your opinion is only going to count more, and we'll get through this probably in about 75 or 90 minutes, and then y'all can get back to the crazy NHL action. I mean, there are a lot of games for Monday tonight and some big ones for sure. Of course, is playoff spots are on the line. I was watching the Sharks a little bit earlier against the Winnipeg Jets. We'll keep our ear to the ground to see if Erik Karlsson registers his 100th point of the season. He had a goal 20 seconds in, but the Jets stormed back to score 3 goals, and of course they've got more at stake for sure. We've got Calgary and Nashville also clashing tonight, and whoever can stay alive there is very fortunate, as who knows, the other team could be eliminated tonight. I think I heard somebody say that. And of course, stuff is going on in the Eastern Conference as well. I know the Islanders are playing. I know that the Panthers are playing right now too, and seeding in general is something that's on the line with like the Metropolitan Division. Pacific Division is still technically up for grabs, as is the Central. So we've got ourselves a pretty action-packed, intense week ahead of us, and this will all come to a close in the regular season on Friday. And by then, maybe we'll actually figure out the full, what the bracket's going to look like. And speaking of the bracket, guys, while I wait for some of you to tap in here, I've done the bracket challenge before. We did that last year. It's free to enter through NHL.com. And we're going to do that again this year. This time, though, I'll have the prizes defined up front. There will be a general entry for all of our viewers, and there's also going to be a members entry, because your prize as members will be even better because you guys are awesome. That being said, I'm going to be pushing very hard for people to sign up as members as part of that, and hopefully we can bring them on board for the long term, and that's going to be really important. But that aside, I'm really excited for the postseason to get underway here. There's some teams that I'm not really cheering for that much, but plenty of them out there that I would be happy to see win the Stanley Cup this year. All right. Of course, if you join here, be sure to holla. Let me know you're here. Otherwise, I'll try to kind of fill the void here. There is a thumbs up on our stream, so something's working. I just wanted to make sure that we were actually live, and it says that we are. So apologies if there's just kind of a lull here. It says we have 3 viewers. Wait a second. Hey, guys. Shoot. An invite link for the stream? Yeah, I can do that. For some reason, StreamYard isn't showing me your comments, guys. I don't know why. That's really odd. YouTube doesn't support comments on private video? What? That's wonky. I'm sorry, guys. Here, you know what I'll do, though? I'll be sure to check now and then on YouTube. But yeah, that does kind of throw me off here. Anyway, if you want to tap in, I'm going to try typing this through StreamYard. Let me know, guys, if you're able to join the stream, if you would like. Get started on that shortly. Yeah, it says that this is a private video. I don't know why it's registering as a private video when it's only intended just for you guys. This is very odd. Apologies. I'll just type in the YouTube chat. Life's kicking your ass right now. I hope it's just some tedious stuff, if anything. I hope all is fine. But yeah, y'all, if you want to hop in. And I have a great time at the concert, CJ. I got to get myself to a show. But in August, there's definitely one I want to hit here in Spokane. All right, so I put the invite link in there if you want to hop in. I don't know why the hell it's calling this a private stream. I set it up usually like I do my other ones. Doesn't support comments on private videos. That's so weird. Huh. Yeah, I'm just seeing if I tweaked my settings anything differently, but oh, that's why. That's why. I did have this listed as private. That's my bad. See if the comment works now. Okay. So your comments should start showing up, I would think. Okay, finally, I can see your comments in StreamYard. There we go. Yeah, my bad there. Anyway, we have 25 jerseys to rank. There's an odd number because the Rangers wore the same jersey for 2 different Stadium Series games in 2014. It's crazy. There were a lot of games that year. There were, I think, 4 of them. But yeah, let me know if you guys are able to join or I mean, we could always do this another time if it's inconvenient for you folks. But you got the time with me if you want. We've got a 90-minute. We're usually on here for about 90 minutes. There we go. We got Nick. There he is. How's it going, Nick?
Doing all right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitement level for the playoffs?
Honestly, right now, just because of how tightly contested it is, it's going to be hard to really scale it.
And if the Panthers miss due to some...
Frankly, the Panthers have ticked me off with a ton of moves in a couple of years, so they've actually fallen down on the ranking this year.
Oh, really? So then who would you be going for in the postseason?
Well, I did... At the beginning of the year, I did pick the Hurricanes to go far, but with Svechnikov out, it's going to be hard for them to go far, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel the same. I've always thought that the Hurricanes kind of miss either a little extra scoring or they miss somebody to just kind of bully the other team. They've kind of fallen into that trap before with Tampa. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're going far this year, although I obviously want them to as well. All right.
Can't wait to be at the United Center this week for the final game of the year.
Is Taves going to play in that one?
Yeah, he already confirmed that he's playing the rest of the season. He said that a couple of nights ago because he's been playing the last 5 games now, and he confirmed saying he is expected to play the remainder of the season. And yesterday it basically came out and said that he's treating these final 2 home games this season as his final home games pretty much with the Blackhawks, which means I think he's retiring. Got it.
I mean, I haven't heard any speculation of him possibly being interested in playing elsewhere, but with the last couple of years, I mean, that wouldn't necessarily even be on his mind at this point.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if anybody else hops in here. And who knows? Maybe we'll just let you you rank alongside me here.
Okay.
All right, man. So let's get started I'll just kind of preface this mostly for anybody who watches after the fact. But yeah, you have the 20. So the Stadium Series started in 2014 with a bunch of games. We had, I think, what, 3 or 4 different games here.
4 total games, 5 total teams.
4 total games, 5 total teams. How many years has Taves been with Chicago? What was that? 08?
He was drafted in 06. He was it 06? Yeah, it was. Dang, it's been that long. He was drafted in 06, made his NHL debut in 2007-8 season.
Yeah, it's going on like
it's up to
years.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit.
All right. Well, I'm sure that he'll be honored, not just there at that moment, but there's probably going to be a special day or a couple special days ahead of him, not too long from now at the United
I'm willing to bet every time he touches the puck on the final home game this Thursday, every time, including defensive zone or any time he hops on the ice, the UC is going to erupt in cheers.
Wow, that's something I gotta watch or see some highlights or something.
Last home game was his return to the lineup, and every time he was on the ice, the UC erupted in cheers. So
that's awesome.
It's going to happen again.
That's awesome. I mean, like, I kind of relate in the sense that, we haven't had all that much to cheer about, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like the Marlowe retirement was very special for us, Jersey retirement.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Yeah. And I mean, of course, there's still a little bit at stake this week in terms of possible draft positioning, right?
Yeah. If Anaheim gets one more point and the Hawks basically lose tonight and tomorrow, it basically solidifies the either 31st or 32nd for the Blackhawks, because they could still end up with 2 points this week, and if Anaheim gets one more point, they basically solidify it where the standings are about to set up.
Yeah, and I know we're about to get into Anaheim's jersey here, but I'm just fuming at them right now.
How the heck do they blow a 2-goal lead the way they did last night with taking so many dumb penalties the way they did?
I mean, the last time they won a game was St. Patrick's Day.
Holy crap, that's almost a month ago.
Yeah, it's absurd. Like, this team has Zegras and Terry and McTavish. I know these guys are, mostly young, but it's like, come freaking on. I know the Hawks have been waiting forever,
Yep.
I understand that, but like, Anaheim has been just stuck in the same freaking gear. It's just driving me nuts.
Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts on this 2014 Stadium Series jersey?
I will just say this, a lot of the Stadium Series jerseys from this year I really hated the looks of, just with the chromified logos and stuff. This Ducks jersey, the fact it was their first ever orange jersey.
Oh.
It's an interesting take. I just don't think the chromified logos they did helped it, with the fact it has that weird paneling going up it and barely waist striped on the bottom. I would say it's probably a C because it's from one of the first Stadium Series games.
Yeah. I think that's a completely fair take. I mean, what you'll see in some of these other designs is that they've completely abandoned anything at the waist. That's very true to the Reebok era, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got Dan here.
How we doing, boys?
Hey, how are you,
man?
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Can't complain. What's going on?
Living dead life. I got a few minutes while the girls are in the tub and stop in.
All right. Well, let us know. What do you think of this?
Meh.
Yeah, I will put it in the meh as well. I think that's
in a word, meh.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I like the OC on the shoulders quite a bit, though, for Orange County.
I do like that touch.
And the Ducks always have. I always like the Ducks numbers. I think they do those well.
Yeah.
See, this to me is like a minor league jersey.
It kind of reminds me a little of the San Francisco Bulls jersey.
Kind of does, yeah.
I just noticed that. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, I think that was.
See, I'm feeling Kansas City Mavericks.
Yeah, that they used to have the blue in the color scheme. They got rid of it, and they changed the logo, and they ruined it, man. All right, we'll go to Dan to start out with Chicago, and then we'll go to you, Nick. So, what do you think of the 20?
I'll be nice, Nick.
Go for it.
All right. See, I always like when they go in black. Some people would say it's calling it safe. I think this, to me, this just highlights the logo. I mean, your eyes instantly go to the Chief because it's just centering in on it, which I like.
All right, Nick.
Nick,
now your turn.
I hate this jersey in so many ways. It's supposed to be the great black third jersey, and then they ruin it by putting the chromified logo. First ever jersey. Technically, it's the second ever jersey that did not have chain stitching involved in the Blackhawks history, because the first one was the original Turn Back the Clock jersey from the 90s, which was the Barber Pole jersey. The Blackhawk black third jersey is still a fan favorite jersey throughout Chicago. This is what that jersey is supposed to be based off of. But that chromified logo, the elimination of one of the tomahawks on front, they could have put the Stadium Series patch where on my Winter Classic one I'm wearing on front there, and just put a second tomahawk on the shoulder and made the striping on the sleeves go fully around. It would be better, but this jersey, I honestly say it's the second worst jersey in Blackhawks history, and it's a D for me.
And what is the worst that they've worn before?
This year's reverse retro.
I figured, yeah. All right, so
I didn't realize this was chromified. I just thought it was the way the light in the picture was reflecting.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's kind of both. But yeah, the logo does look. It kind of looks like a knockoff, I think.
Yeah, if that's the case, then it definitely takes some points away for me. I just thought it was mere lighting.
Yeah, there's certainly a difference Nick's going to show you the comparison right now.
He probably has 4 of them.
Here's the Stadium Series one. So, see how like the chromified logo kind of bubbles up and crap over time?
Yeah,
I like the elongated numbers. The striping on the bottom's kind of weird because it kind of turns into a V on the sleeve on that part. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same jersey as the original black, but it's not truly as well put together. I don't have the original black with me because it's packed up to go up to Chicago with me on in a couple of days.
Okay. Nick, are we ever going to get a Tomahawks centered jersey?
I honestly was thinking they could have done it this year with the reverse retro, just put the Tomahawks on front because Adidas, a lot of people don't think about it. Adidas actually gave the Blackhawks 3 choices, and the Blackhawks chose whichever was the best out of the 3, apparently.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was hoping for a Tomahawk jersey, but then they didn't do it.
All right. Well, Nick, I'm pretty convinced that you're giving it a D. Dan,
Yeah.
what's your rating here?
Like I said, I thought it was just the lighting, but that definitely marks it down for me. I'm gonna have to go D as well.
Wow. All right. Well, I don't think we're gonna have too many jerseys that are graded worse than that. I'd probably still give it a C myself, just because I like just the coloring. But it's certainly a downgrade from what they've worn even in Reebok before. So yeah, it could certainly belong toward the bottom. All right. Next up, we've got the 2014 LA Kings.
To quote the horse from Ren and Stimpy, no, sir, I don't like it.
I personally think out of their three gray jerseys technically they've had, this is the best rendition of it, just because a chromified logo can work with this king's crown, just because a crown can be any type of metallic, and chrome is a form of metallic setup. I think it works for this jersey, and the way they did the striping, it's more of a traditional look. And they didn't go with the oversized numbers on the jersey, which is a good thing. And I like the LA on the shoulder, kind of. It gives a good look together. I think it's a good jersey, in my opinion. I would say probably a B. Sorry, my dogs are going nuts right now.
Oh, you're good, man. Hey, I know how that is. All right, so D for Dan, a B from Nick. You know, I'm gonna be kind to the Kings for this one. I like this one more than the next one we'll talk about. What I don't like are the shoulders. You've heard me say it before when they're cut off instead of rounded slightly. I'll look past that. But yeah, I like the logo treatment, and the rest of the jersey itself is very functional. So I'll give this one a B as well. However, that's going to be, I guess it would rank better than the Ducks, but I don't know if it would quite go into the B tier just yet.
Now, if I may, in the early 2000s, didn't like the whole purple and black era, didn't it have lions in the logo, like holding the sticks? Now, with this color, I think the two lions with the sticks, that would look cool with the black and silver.
Yeah, I agree too.
But that's just one guy's opinion.
All right. Well, one guy, we'll get your opinion on this next one here, the Devils. Now, I believe that what looks black here is actually green. So it's the first time since I think 1992 that the Devils have actually featured green on a jersey.
Mm-hmm.
See, this to me is this isn't so much a stadium series. This is just them paying homage to the original Devils. I mean, if you take the patch off of it, it's just an original Devils jersey. Yeah. Nothing about this makes me think special event.
The reason why they didn't have a chromified logo on this jersey is because Lou Lamoriello, they released the chromified version of the logo. Lamoriello did not allow it to go on the jersey.
Big surprise.
That's like one of the only things I agree with that guy for doing anything, because he basically shut down Reebok from putting the chromified logo on the front of a jersey. And they chose a throwback, which looked good in the matchup, even though the Rangers jersey, once we get to it, that jersey's not that great. But I liked how the Devils just said, screw it, we're using a throwback and not calling and doing a stadium series, like weird concept jersey.
All right. Do we have grades from either of you?
I mean, you can't take away the fact that it's a nice jersey. I'm going high C, but for a stadium series, it's not doing it.
Right.
Like I said, you take away the patch, it's an original Devils jersey.
Okay.
That's where I'm at too. Just because they didn't do anything new to it, but they still were smart to not screw up a good jersey.
And I think
the Blackhawks did screw up a good jersey.
And I'm completely in agreement with you guys. It's a good jersey. Does it fit the stadium series? Is it original? No, but it doesn't look bad. And you're right. It's like the one thing that we can credit Lamoriello for. All right. Now we've got the Islanders.
There's a thing with this Islander jersey. I've liked the NY logo they made for the Stadium Series because this was the first time they did an NY logo. The next year they brought out the black jersey for Brooklyn when they moved there. I just don't like the striping at all on the jersey. And I think if they did the orange numbers, which are on their current third jersey, I think the orange numbers would work better with this jersey. So I go with a low C on it.
Okay.
See, this to me looks like the designer forgot the deadline was due. He grabbed a practice jersey and grabbed the first thing that was in his computer file. And then just to make it even worse, he slapped a duct tape bordering around the N and the Y.
Okay, yeah, that I could see where you're coming from there. And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, just this is horrible.
All right. I think you have made your point. I don't hate it, but it does seem a little it's lacking cohesion, I think. I like the little kind of chevron stripes on the arms. I like that personally. They had that as a patch on their shoulder for a while there. So I think that's actually maybe my favorite element. Other than that, it's not blowing my hair back with the logo, but at least it's a little bit different. So yeah, for me, it would also be kind of like a low C. So based on that, it's kind of like, you know what, it goes in the D tier, but it'll rank higher than the Blackhawks, not by much. Yeah. All right. Next up is the Rangers. Sorry, I couldn't get an authentic jersey here.
Yeah,
I did my best finding photos, but anyway.
The thing with these Premier versus Authentics during those Stadium Series, they actually were pretty similar because they used the same logos on the Authentics and on the replicas. So it's pretty much a similar jersey, just the minus the Jock tag and Reebok on the sleeve.
So this is me really nitpicking, and I've always felt this way. And I get the reasoning for it, but with the New York, it becomes one word. There's 2 words, there's no space. And I get the reasoning behind it, but and this is the ADHD in me, the OCD. It's always drove me crazy. It's not New York, it's New York. And I admit I'm being that guy right now, and it's always driven me crazy.
Do you think that they should have kept the word mark if they added some sort of spacing to it?
Yeah, I think it should be Rangers instead of New York.
They were the visiting team.
I agree with this. And like I said, I'm being that guy. And simply put, this is not my cup of tea.
The fact they were the visiting team when they actually were in the Stadium Series for the same stadium for 2 days in a row against 2 different teams, I personally would say they were more the home team at that point.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Not to mention it was at Yankee Stadium. So
yeah, it was at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it wasn't Citi Field where the Mets play, for example.
Right. I'm not a fan of it just because it's lacking the striping like a traditional Ranger jersey.
Very true.
And frankly, I get they took some flair from the Liberty jersey because that doesn't have the actual waist striping on that, and this kind of eliminates it, and it takes the silver from the Liberty jersey. And personally, I've never been a fan of those Liberty jerseys. I personally would say this is a D just because it's honestly the worst Ranger jersey of all time.
You're not wrong.
Whoa.
And that's putting it up against the ones with the shield from the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually like the Shield retro logo. I think you have so much dead space underneath. Going on the bottom, it's just all white. You could actually, I don't know. I'm trying to visualize a vertical red and white striping almost, kind of like the old, like the Blues, St. Louis jerseys of the 90s. In my head, it works. I'd have to visually see it, but yeah, this is all. I don't want to say lazy. It's a missed opportunity.
Okay. So is it a D or a C for you?
I'm gonna give him. I will give it a C.
Okay.
But just personally, I agree with Nick. This is on the bottom of so many Rangers jerseys throughout the years. And Nick, I will agree with you. But I love the Lady Liberty jersey. logo itself, but as a whole, it's never done it for me.
It looks like a practice jersey because they don't have enough striping on it.
That's fair.
And
this reminds me of the old before the Sharks' latest jerseys. With the away jerseys, how there was nothing on the bottom, but there was more of a focal point, so it worked. With this going on the angle, you just have so much negative space with nothing there.
All right, you do have just a little navy strip at the bottom, which to me,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
it does have that, but it doesn't add to it. It's not enough to help it.
All right. Well, I strangely do like this jersey.
Hey, you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
I actually really like the numbers on this, and I like how it takes some borrows from the Liberty jersey. I would give this personally a B. I think it's good. I don't think it's amazing, but it actually is something that I like more the more I see it, strangely. But anyway, we'll rank this. Let's see here. We're gonna rank it next to the Ducks, but we'll put it at the end of the C tier. And again, these are the bottom tiers right now. This will probably change. I can adjust it based on how things progress. All right, and one other jersey from 2014, and that's the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I love seeing this one because it reminds me of Jonathan Toews putting 2 goals against Marc-Andre Fleury and a blizzard. And honestly, this is a better version of the Vegas Gold Penguin jerseys, in my opinion, because it has the shoulder yoke on the white. It has a better striping layout than those jerseys of the time the Penguins wore. If it just had the normal non-chromified logo, it would be probably the best jersey from Pittsburgh in that era, from the Vegas Gold era, because they had the Vegas Gold in CCM, and then they changed it up to the Reebok Edge template jerseys. And I just think this is probably the best version of the Penguins in that color scheme. I personally think it's a B.
I could agree with that. Now, just out of curiosity, I'd like this exact jersey, exact template, everything about it, but I want to see the original Penguin, like where it had the scarf on and everything, but still in that color.
It would have worked perfectly for the blizzard,
I think.
Yeah. The scarf Penguin would have worked perfectly with the blizzard and in Soldier Field for that day.
Well, I just think with the Vegas, the almost mustardy yellow, or the Vegas yellow as you're calling it, I think that totally would have worked. Keep everything the same, just swap the Penguin. Switch Penguins, if you will.
Yeah.
All right. What's your grade, Dan?
I give it a solid B.
All right. Well, guess what? I am also going to give it a B. Maybe even a high B for that matter. I love the numbers. I think the numbers are awesome on this jersey. It's got a little bit of awkwardness with the shoulders here. I think are actually a little bit different than like typical shoulder design. Yeah. And the waist is kind of like, it's got kind of like angled striping at the waist and then horizontal, which to me is odd. Other than that, I really like this. And I agree that this is the best that they did for that era of Pens jerseys, going all the way back to the CCM days. So yeah, it's a B for me. And it'll rank the highest so far on our list. Next up, the 2015 Los Angeles Kings.
The size says it all.
Yeah. Frankly, it's a template. Both teams wore the same jersey, and this just different colors, basically. The white bottom did not help the Kings with the white pants they wore and white gloves.
Yeah.
This jersey, I liked how they put the 2 crowns on the collar representing their 2 Stanley Cups. But otherwise, this jersey is very forgettable. If you
Yes.
ask any NHL fan, this is probably one that no one really remembers, frankly. And it's the first time you start seeing a weird collar design kind of to prelude the Adidas era with the terrible crew neck collars. And this kind of looks like a toilet seat, in my opinion.
You know,
Uh,
Nick, that's a perfect word. It's forgettable. I forgot about this jersey. If you were to show me this right now, I would think that this was, you know, like a knockoff jersey made in Singapore of a thing that never actually even existed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally say it's a D.
The only thing more boring than this jersey was the game itself, and I was there, and it was boring. Like I had never seen hockey from that distance, but the Sharks only got 1 goal. You couldn't even tell when a goal was scored. I don't think.
Right.
Niemi had some good pads in that game, so I give him props.
I'd have to go back and take a look.
In my opinion, the only thing I can say this is make the bottom black and the black stripe white. That might help it out, but this is it's just not a good jersey.
Yeah. Are we going the Guy Fieri route? Triple D?
Yeah.
I
think it's worse than the Hawks one, frankly.
And that's exactly where I'm going to put it.
It's bad.
It's just such a waste. Mike and Trevor have chimed in here, and you're more than welcome to tap in and weigh in with your opinions. We'd be happy to have you here. I did want to also just quickly point out today we've had 2 milestones being met that I can count, or that I can keep track of. First of all, Claude Giroux got his 1,000th point, and not only did he do that, but so did former Shark great Joe Pavelski. He scored a goal tonight. He becomes the 3rd Shark draft pick to reach 1,000 points after Patrick Marleau, of course, and also one that you wouldn't necessarily think of, but is a legend here in Spokane, and that is Ray Whitney. So, and San Jose is the only NHL team since 1991 to have 3 picks reach 1,000 points. So, congrats to Giroux and also to Pavelski. A Stanley Cup for either might cement a Hall of Fame legacy. We'll see.
I mean, that's pretty much a true statement, I think. I'm honestly shocked how long it took Pavelski to get that to the 1,000-point mark, because he entered the league before the lockout.
No, I think the first season was 05-06, even though he was an 03 draft pick. Yeah. And speaking of the San Jose Sharks, they are next.
I want to like this jersey. I do. I don't know.
I love the shoulder patch they came up with for this jersey, but that's about it. I'm frankly not a fan of this year of Stadium Series from 2015. I thought both jerseys looked exactly alike.
Exactly.
Just because they were the same template. And I just frankly thought the jersey was bad then, and I still think it's bad now, and I would say it's still a D.
I mean, it's night and day better than the Kings, but the whole Neapolitan style pattern, just, like I said, I want to like it, and I don't.
Yeah. So D and a D.
Nick, you have this jersey, right?
I do, yeah. And this photo represents it fairly. To me, it's the plain numbers and just kind of the color blocking.
Yeah.
It's a little lazy, if we're just looking at this jersey by itself. The collar's also kind of weird too. And what's really funny is, even though that patch says Northern California, the Shark is actually swimming in Southern California.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's still a good patch. I just think they put the Shark in the wrong spot, granted, but I think it's mainly to kind of have it the center part of the circle in the shoulder patch, so that kind of makes sense a little bit.
I mean, they tried something, and that's the whole point with stadium series jerseys. Let's try something completely new, and it's going to be a coin flip every time.
Yeah. So personally, I would put this in C tier. I
give it a low C.
I'd give it maybe, it's like a C for me.
It's better than the Rangers.
I like that it's teal, somewhat teal, but that's just about it too. So this would put it probably, let me just check in relation to the other ones. Ooh, this is worse than the Islanders. Blackhawks would be DDC. Yeah, it ranks right next to the Blackhawks in 2014. I'll put it ahead just because guess who's hosting this. And that brings us to another Blackhawks jersey. And that is from, what is this now, 2016?
Yep.
All right, Nikki.
I love this jersey. It's one of my favorite Blackhawk jerseys ever made, frankly. Wow. Which is a statement because a lot of Stadium Series jerseys I frankly hate. I like what the Hawks did with it. They combined jerseys of their past with making it look modern, with the black shoulders and the Chicago Stars on the collar. It looks good. The black shoulders are to represent another one of the nicknames of Chicago, of the city of broad shoulders. And if they did the red stripe just behind the tomahawk just a little bit, I think it would work better instead of leaving it kind of cut out, but it still works perfectly. I have this in authentic myself where it's Nicholas Jarmerson on it. And I love how the jersey looks. And it's one of just frankly put together up against the Wild in this game. It looked like one of the best Stadium Series jersey matchups ever in the Stadium Series history. I frankly have this as an A.
All righty.
See, Nick, I'm going to insult you and then I'm going to compliment you. I do not like this jersey. No, wrong wording. I think this is an ugly jersey. Ugly to the point that it's so bad that it's actually good, if that makes sense. Like, nothing about this I like visually, but because I don't like it, I dislike it that much, it actually folds over into the, because I don't like it, I can't stop looking at it. And it I want to keep looking at it just because I think it's that ugly. I know what I just said does not make any sense.
I do like the fact they did bring back the chain stitching on this for the Stadium Series.
The thing I always liked about this is on the neck, the little honor to the isn't that the Chicago Police Department symbol?
No, those are just the Chicago flag stars.
Okay, I thought that actually had a police influence. Okay.
The Chicago flag stars all mean one thing. If I remember correctly, the first star is to represent the Great Chicago Fire.
Okay.
The second star is to represent the second city, which is another one of the nicknames for the city of Chicago because to rebuild. The third star was for the I believe the World's Fair.
I was gonna say that, yeah, I thought so.
And the fourth star, if I remember correctly,
the 85 Bears.
It's not that. Definitely not that. I can't remember the fourth star, but a lot of people now want to represent the fourth. They want them to put a fifth star for the 2016 Cubs, but it's not. They won't do that.
You got a grade, Dan?
Like I said, I'm giving it a C.
Okay. And you know what? I used to not really care for this jersey, but seeing an authentic like this, I actually do like it. I think that it's a little unique for a Blackhawks jersey. It's got the elements, things are kind of located in different places, or there's kind of a twist on it. I would like to see maybe, I know that obviously the black shoulder yoke is what it is. I wish we could have maybe gotten a little bit of red at the waist just because of what we get on the arms. That's just one gripe. and I think that the chain stitching of the tomahawks on the arms looks amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm going to give this a very respectable B rating, and that would, and if we let's see here, we had 3. I don't know if I'll put the Hawks ahead of the Penguins. They're virtually tied. But yeah, this is actually one that's kind of grown on me a little bit.
And you see, Hawksnick, not Sharksnick. I think this would be a good one where you could actually do the tomahawks in the center and have Chief Blackhawk on the sleeves.
Mm-hmm. I've seen concepts like that. It does not look right.
Okay.
A lot of the things when it comes to the main Blackhawk logo and Chief Blackhawk, a lot of the times when they make a small patch of it, especially on this year's reverse retro, because they did that, it does not look right. The Blackhawk logo, the way it is, it's much better as a full primary logo. If they, where it's on the front of a jersey, if they do a shoulder patch or a sleeve patch, for instance, if they did it like this, it would not look right.
Sure.
All right, let's move on to the Avalanche. Yeah, go on now.
It's a good thing Neil's not watching. Nope. This to me is, hey, let's take the Chicago Cubs and put it on a hockey jersey. That's all it is.
I've never put it that way, but I can see where you're coming from.
That's all it is. I look at this and I instantly just go, this is the Cubs. This is a hockey team.
I like the fact they put the mile high for the collar with it saying the actual altitude number. That I like because I'm an aviation geek, and when it comes to stuff, I know a lot of the actual altitude numbers and stuff. I like that. I hate the jersey, the way they kind of did the striping on it, with the giant numbers in the middle of the blue. If they did as a blue jersey when they were the home team in it, I think it would look much better than a white jersey. I'm not a fan of this particular look. I'm not a fan of that it has just that little piping bottom, like the bottom stripe. I just don't think it's a good look in general. I would say it's probably a C.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks like just a white long sleeve, a solid white long sleeve cotton T-shirt with some color on the sleeves with the Chicago Cubs.
And yeah, there's nothing going on with the waist, and I don't like the black collar. I mean, obviously it's very functional. It's not doing anything wrong, but it does lack a little bit of pizzazz. Because otherwise, I like the arms, and I like that they used that kind of secondary logo. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what this would look like as a burgundy jersey or a blue jersey.
Exactly. I mean, you're right. The sleeves, I'm gonna give the Avalanche a compliment, and then I'm gonna take a hot shower because I feel dirty. The sleeves are nice. The sleeves are nice, but it's the wrong color. If this was a blue, burgundy, as you said, without question, this would actually. I'll even say it'd be beautiful. White, it's boring.
Mike is not a fan of this one either. But yeah, I'd grade this out. It kind of straddles the line between like C and maybe a B if I've had a couple. But Maple Leafs and Caps winning. Let's go. Oh, they're winning their games right now. Yeah, go Caps, right? So yeah, I'll say that it's a C for me, and that would rank. I think we've done this one here. We've had it's right where the Isles are. Ooh, the Isles were in the D tier. Huh. I guess we're going off of just kind of relativity here. I'm going to still put the Avalanche at the end of the C tier because does it grade out against the Rangers? Because I actually like the Rangers one more. Not by much, though. All right. Yeah, of course, Penguins have a lot on the line this week. We'll get to those jerseys too, Mike. Definitely want to get your thoughts on that beyond your initial comment. All right, Dano. We got the 2016 Red Wings.
I knew this was coming. I love this team. I will always love this team. and I absolutely hate this jersey. I have never liked this jersey. When I saw it, it was just
It was disappointment.
okay.
Just pure disappointment.
Yeah, D for disappointment. There you go. D for damn. It's just, Neil has said it so many times in his video about Red Wings fans with the concept. You take away the winged wheel and you're going to get anger. And I look at this, and this is not a Red Wings jersey. Nothing about, just no. D, next picture. Moving on. This is not a Red Wings jersey to me, and it hurts me to see it.
I hate the look of the jersey. The weird stripe looking like a freaking beauty pageant sash.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. I think that's if they did a horizontal stripe like how this is set up, it would look better.
Better, but not good.
It's still not good. I like the 09 Winter Classic from the Red Wings because that looked more traditional and how it was made.
That was
And the
beautiful.
D looked much nicer than this version of the stylized D. I personally would agree it belongs in the D tier just because of its. I was disappointed when I saw this jersey just because it looked honestly terribly put together.
I remember this jersey being in like Dick's Sporting Goods and Dunham's and just all throughout malls. I mean, within months afterwards, they had so many left. They were basically having to pay you to get rid of them.
I believe this jersey was on Retro to Heritage on eBay for so long, no one wanted to buy it because it wasn't a good look.
I mean,
Well,
if you take a young Red Wings fan, like a 13 or 14-year-old Red Wings fan, if you a kid Red Wings fan today and showed them this, they wouldn't even know that this was a Wings jersey.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Mike think this has some redeeming quality to it. He's giving it a C. I happen to like it a fair bit. I wouldn't put it super high. I'd still give it a B though. I'd give it a B. It's got that kind of racing motif to it, and it's not trying to do too much with it. The red itself is just pronounced so much, and the little characters or serifs or whatever you want to call them, or the flow that Mike pointed out. I don't know. I could see why Red Wings fans wouldn't like this, but I'm gonna save this from going in the D tier.
I mean, Zetterberg and Dotsuit wore it, so that's cool, but that's about it.
And Blackhawk legend Brad Richards wore it.
There you
Oh,
go.
whoa! Richards was a Red Wing?
Yeah, he left after the Hawks won the Cup in 2015. He signed as a free agent with the Red Wings and then retired.
He was there for a cup of coffee.
All right. Now we got the Wild, who played Chicago.
I know I already said it was the best jersey matchup for a Stadium Series ever, and I still say that. I personally don't think this is the best looking Wild jersey, frankly, in my opinion, just because of the lack of the striping, the shoulder yoke being kind of squared off on it. I know a lot of Stadium Series, there are squared off shoulder yokes. I love the State of Hockey patch on the shoulder. It's a good patch. I just think the oversized numbers on this jersey kind of hurts it a little bit. And I personally say it's a C, but it's a high C.
See, right before you said it, Nick, I was actually looking at the numbers, just thinking they are so friggin' huge. That's all I keep looking. I look at the jersey and my eyes keep going back to the numbers. I'm trying to visualize the State of Hockey patch actually as your main crest, because otherwise, this to me kind of like, what was it, the Devils jersey? Nothing about this makes it look like a special event. This looks like a third jersey to me.
All right, you got a grade?
Simply because this just looks like just an everyday Wild jersey, I'm giving it a D. I'm going to be pretty hard on it.
Okay. You know, at the time I thought that this was actually pretty good, pretty sharp. But then shortly after, the Wild come out with their home jersey with Adidas, and that to me is still maybe the best home jersey in the NHL. It is just gorgeous. I don't even think people appreciate it enough. I like it as much as the logo itself. This pales in comparison. And yes, the State of Hockey patch is what does it for me. Otherwise, I think it's pretty plain. Even though I like using the cream for the most part. So I'm going to give this a C as well, and I think that it's going to survive. Then again, the Isles were also the same ranking. I don't know. We're getting too many C's up in here.
I was just thinking that it's all bottom two lines.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think some of these designs ahead of us, though, there are going to be some winners. I don't know. I'm hoping there are some winners. We'll make some adjustments as needed. It goes ahead of the Red Wings one because you guys didn't like that. Actually, it's going to go right here. It goes right here. You know what? We're going to be nice. We're going to put it right here. All righty. Now the Philly Flyers. Mike's going to have a field day with this one, I'm sure.
I actually like this. This to me is boring in the best way possible. It's simple, and I think it's because of the black. It's the whole cliche of black always works, and this is a prime example where it's very true. I like this jersey.
Cool. What do you think of it, like grade wise?
I'm giving it a. Do I want to give it an A simply because we need an A, or do I actually like it that? I think just out of all of them so far, I like this one the most. So I'm gonna go A.
Okay. Cool.
I personally hate this jersey. I don't think the Flyers ever looked good in a black jersey. Their logo blends in way too much on a black jersey, even when it has a white outline, which it does. I just don't think it works that well, especially since they still use it today as their third jersey. And with still the enlarged numbers on the jersey, I'm not a fan of when teams do a black jersey with black numbers on it. Granted, I'm wearing one, but it works because they use cream behind it. And this has orange behind it, but the main numbers on the back, there's no orange to contrast it with. It's a black number on a black background, and it kind of makes it hard to watch on TV. I personally still put it at a D.
All right.
Yeah, but imagine if we flipped this and this whole thing was orange. You want to talk about hard to watch or white? You'd either be blinded by orange or you couldn't tell where the jersey stopped and the ice began if it was all white.
I mean, at the time in Reebok, they still were kind of using more of a burnt orange in comparison to when they switched over to Adidas with the highlighter orange.
The highlighter orange.
Yeah, or when they changed from the initial 1.0 design,
right?
That's when they adopted the brighter orange, and it got even brighter, I think, with Adidas.
It did.
Now, I like this. I don't know if I'm in love with it, but then again, we're talking about the Stadium Series.
Right.
I'd at least have this. I'd probably have this as a solid, like, high B personally. So I think that, and the Kings we got 2 Bs and a D, whereas here we have an A, a B, and a D. So I will slide this in to the B tier. ACB. Yeah. So it actually ranks right in between the two. So it will go right about here.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing is that the orange pops even more with the all black look. But I think that's I don't want to see the Flyers wear black. I want to see them in orange.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they end up doing. I just wish they would get rid of that swooshy design down the arm, but whatever. That's their look.
Sounds like they're keeping
going
it.
back to burnt orange.
They are going back to burnt orange. I can confirm that.
Okay.
And it sounds like they're going back to the Eric Lindros era jerseys, which, in my opinion, that's the worst era of Flyer jersey.
Yeah.
They should have just gone to their 2012 Winter Classic. That's their best jersey in their
Right.
history, and made a white version of it.
Absolutely. Spot on. All right. What about the Pens?
Yeah.
I always say this, yellow jerseys never work, and this still doesn't work. I like the fact that what they did with it with the for the captaincy on it. I love that factor because for the assistant captains and the captain, they all had the triangle. No one else had a triangle with with a letter on it. I like the fact they went more of a industrial number kit on the jersey, but then they changed it to a normal block kit when they went and made it their third jersey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I'm not big. I don't like that City of Champions patch on the sleeve. It's way too big. And again, I get it. They were just coming off one of their second Stanley Cup in the after 2009, but I still don't think that City of Champion patch belongs on the jersey at all. I think they just threw it there last minute.
I look at the numbers, kind of how you were mentioning, Nick, and to me, it's them mimicking the Steelers font of the broken up letters. That I look at that, I instantly think Pittsburgh Steelers. Which, I mean, I get the correlation, but to me, it's taking someone else's identity, and even though you share the same city. Now, I'm staring at the Keystone symbol on the patch on the sleeve. Now, try and envision, put the Keystone in the center and take the Robo Penguin head and put it right in the middle of the Keystone. I think that might actually look really cool.
Huh. Never thought of
it
that sort of combination.
I don't know. I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to visualize it. I think that might be. I mean, it would definitely win. It would sell for uniqueness, if anything else.
All right, grades.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm giving it a C.
Okay.
I mean, it has elements, but at the same time, it's missing a lot.
Signore? I would probably just say C, but low C, and I hate doing the same thing. But I'm not a big fan when it comes to a lot of the looks of the Stadium series. So I was saying low C.
That's totally fair. Personally, now Mike had this in S tier. He's a Penguins fan, and he has good taste because I love this jersey among Stadium Series jerseys. Okay. This to me tells you what you can do when you eliminate white. Except I know it's in the collar there. That's kind of weird, but I like that they didn't use the gold triangle for the Penguin on the main crest. That would have just been crazy. Captain's letter is cool. I know like the steel or the gold triangle is, that's usually what's behind the logo. I would like to see it inverse. So it was a black triangle with a gold letter. City of Champions patch. I like that. I do think it's also a little bit too big, but I won't dock it too much for that. Like the stencil, Jake Gensel. And I would borderline put this in S tier for the Stadium series.
That high.
It's I would say it's probably one of my 3 favorite, just looking at some of the other designs here. And it's easily my favorite design for what we see so far. I'll stick with an A for now. And we'll put this just because of a couple C's, an S, and an A. This is going to go in the B tier.
Why is it not putting the Blackhawk game on?
All right.
I have ESPN supposed to be broadcasting the Blackhawk game tonight, but right now they're broadcasting the WNBA draft. Like, what the hell?
As a somewhat different slate of content. Alrighty. Now we get to the 2018. The triangle is always gold because of the points of the city as well. Yeah, and not to mention like the yellow bridges that they have there too, right? I've never been to Pittsburgh, but
Pittsburgh's actually a very fun town.
yeah.
It's I mean, it is so blue collar, Rust Belt.
Yeah.
It's just salt of the earth people. Just they're gonna buy you a beer, get you up a Manny Brothers sandwich, go to the Steelers game. It is a very fun town.
Cool. Sounds like the Spokane of the Appalachia region. All right, what do you guys think of this one?
I like this one. I mean, it's clean. It's very clean. It's very. I mean, this to me is classic Toronto in a lot of ways. They're not trying to be anything other than just that. We're not going to change. We're not going to try to impress. This is Toronto to me.
I put this at S tier, frankly. I think it's one of like the best Stadium Series jersey made. Toronto kept it classic.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. The white pants, white gloves, white helmets didn't look so good with this jersey, but we're ranking the jersey as a whole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I put this jersey at S tier. It's the best looking Stadium Series, and honestly, I would say this should be their away jersey.
Do you have a grade, Dan?
I wouldn't go as high. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm not gonna go S tier, but like I said, I much respect to Toronto for kind of like with Detroit, Montreal. They're not gonna change. This is what you're getting, so don't be surprised. But because of that, this is just clean to me. They're not trying to be showy, but in not trying to be, it almost did become showy. If that made sense in my head. It's been a very long week. It's Monday. Yeah, exactly.
And I agree with Nick. I think that even though this is fairly simplistic, and even though it is lacking some blue at the bottom, that would really, cement it as an all-time great. I love this as a Stadium Series jersey. It's my favorite as well. Being able to use the white maple leaf on a white jersey, they pulled it off pretty darn well. The numbers on the shoulders aren't bad. I like the mantra and the collar. I think that's what's used in the Canadian Navy or something like that. Yeah, this to me is an absolute winner. It is S tier, and it's going to be, we'll find something in between, that fits into the A tier. We'll make that happen. But yeah, this one to me is la gomme. It's just enough. It's great. All right, we're going to move on to their opponent from that game, and that was the Capitals.
Really good there for a minute.
I get Ovechkin scored a historic goal in this jersey, but it's still a terrible jersey. The way they did the striping, lack of striping with no white stripes to balance the red and putting the word Caps on it, it's a terrible look. It's a D.
Mike loves this one. D for you. What about you, Dan?
I'll say one word, ditto. Everything Nick just said, he said it for me. I don't care for this at all.
Okay. I think that's a fair point. It just doesn't have much personality to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like, if you actually put, let's say, the Weagle on the front, that would definitely help. I don't think that there's much in the way of flaws with the jersey. But yeah, and Mike's going to give it a C. I would give it a C as well, but considering how things have been grading out so far, let me go back to the Red Wings in 2016. DDCB. This is just below the Red Wings Stadium Series. So we're going to put this at the front of the D tier.
I mean, I look at this and at first glance, I instantly think of the Regina Pats and the WHL.
Huh.
That's where my mind instantly goes. I mean, Connor Bedard is wearing this jersey in my head.
You know, it's also one thing that I think is awful on this jersey. I should have noticed this earlier. Is I mean, those Adidas collars are just terrible. You know,
Yeah.
you can't. The only thing you can do is maybe color the rim of it. That's all you can do as a team. But that collar piece being blue here is just like who
That I
What-
feel like no one talks about how bad the collars are from Adidas enough. I've been basically saying it from day one. They made the Blackhawks first collar look like a toilet seat, and then Blackhawks listened to kind of fix it, but not fully fix it. They needed a second option for collars because the Adidas collars never looked right. And hopefully, knock on wood, because Fanatics is taking over, they better bring in a V-neck collar to help make jerseys look nicer again.
Agreed.
Yep. Good point. All right, now we go to the 2019 matchup, Pens and Flyers yet again.
I like it for how bold it was. I mean, they committed. It's like, if we're going to do this, we're doing it. So, I give him props. And you remember it for that reason. It's, you know, taking the two colors and just making it as strong as possible. But you got to, I mean, did the Oilers do the two-tone before this, or was this after?
This is before.
Oh,
I mean, so in a way, they kind of were a trendsetter, because then you got to think, you know, the Stars did it with the black and neon. I mean, you've seen more and more teams doing this exact style. So, I mean, in a way, they kind of started a trend, if you will.
I like the fact they actually went with the burnt orange on this jersey.
Yeah.
That helps. If it was that neon, like bright highlighter orange, it will make it look a lot worse.
Oh, it would be terrible.
I wish it had a little bit of white in the jersey, kind of to balance it just a little bit to give it some contrast. But I personally think it's a okay jersey.
It's okay, Nick.
I think it's a B.
I'll go. Yeah, B's good.
And you know what? I think it belongs there as well. Not to mention the logo's felt. And you know what this reminds me of? It actually makes me think of the Philadelphia Quakers being, you know, just a two-tone jersey.
Yeah, that is true.
I think that's pretty banger. So I would also put this in B. And I'm actually going to put this ahead of the other jersey. I think this one has a little bit more kind of had a little bit more character to it. And then we also have the Penguins jersey.
It's pretty much the same jersey. I'm not. I get what Adidas was trying to do here for the Stadium Series, because they're using both Color Rush themed jerseys. I don't think it works as well for the Penguins, because it kind of looks like I get it's supposed to be representing a throwback to more of a Steelers jersey. I don't like the fact how it kind of looks almost screen printed on this jersey, because the logo looks more screen printed, even though I know it's not on this jersey. And I put it at a C.
See, I think it works better with Philly because it's such a more simplistic logo.
Yeah.
Where with Pittsburgh, you have so much more detail going on. It's so much more. Like my eyes keep going all around trying to find that, you know, that one center focal point, and I'm not. It's failing to do so.
So you got a grade, Dan?
Let's keep tradition going. Give it a C.
All right. And of course, Mike loves this one. I actually really like this one as well. I really do like black and yellow together. I really do. I mean, the only thing that I would want more is one more band on the sleeves in yellow. I know it sounds like a little overkill. Love the collar tag that Mike points out too. A great day for hockey. So for me, this is one of my favorites. It wouldn't be S tier, but it ranks in A. And I respect what you guys said about the logo treatment as well. It looked better with the Flyers than it does here, but being me, I just like the Bumblebee thing. So I'm going to put it in A. And let's see here. Where would that rank it? It's actually just about tied with this same one. So here, I'll put it behind though. For the time being, I'll actually slide up these two. So then we have a little bit more, a little wonky staircase or something like that.
There you go.
And now we've finally arrived at the pièce de résistance.
We get to the ugly stuff coming up.
And apologies that it's a Fanatics.
That's all right. It's the same thing. They're both horrendous in my opinion. If it's a Fanatics or Adidas.
Well, you know what I think of this one.
Well,
if there was a garbage can tier, I would put it in that. It's low. It's like the lowest on the tier list right now. I would say D, but lowest jersey on this list as of right now.
This is just bad. I remember when it came out, and it's just okay.
I was making fun of this jersey.
Exactly.
Okay. First of all, it gets kudos for the state flag in the collar. Love that.
Yeah.
Apologies for the Fanatics. I actually just saw a concept today that I'd never seen before. It's actually just a very simple change that they made to the logo. If you just take out the burgundy in the triangle, I think that was one. If not, they might have made another change to it. It actually looked good. It looked good. I liked it. But this to me is simply horrendous. There's no other way to describe it.
I was really worried you were going to say you loved this one.
The way how they did the A to go up to the collar, it looks like you have a bib on also. So
Yeah.
Or a like a what is it? Like whatever those almost rich, like almost a protege rich person like Ascot. I can never pronounce the word right, but it's one of those.
I almost think you need a couple of epaulets or epaulets, that the naval officers would wear. Yeah. You almost need that on this jersey, but at least it does something completely different.
It's meme worthy.
It's meme worthy. It's got more character. So I'm going to rank it ahead of the 2015 Kings.
Okay.
Now, as
nice drop by Kaiser.
As the self-appointed Avalanche hater in the group, who I probably wear that title, might I add, I have been wanting to see for years. I don't know how you feel about this. I want the foot. I want a foot jersey.
I would like to see a foot jersey.
Really?
Oh, I that's the one compliment I will give the Avs is I have always loved the foot logo. I'm probably the only one who feels that way. I
personally think it's better than the Colorado C they now use. I wish they did not switch from the foot to the C.
If they were to put go ahead, Dan.
No, I agree with Nick. I mean, the fact that the Cubs haven't even sued him for copyright infringement is beside me.
If they were to use the foot logo, I would want something behind it, not the oval, because this isn't 25 years ago.
Panthers is tied up.
I would want to see like the foot somehow worked with a mountain in the background.
I think that could work if they did it right.
I don't know how they'd do it, but
take the like the Canadian style jersey where you have the stripes through the center, have the foot right in the middle of it, and then have like a white and blue stripe on a burgundy jersey. Actually, do a burgundy jersey. That would be bold.
Before we move on, I wanted to call out that for just the sixth time, well, not the sixth time, but for the first time since 1992, an NHL defenseman has reached 100 points in a season.
Karlsson did it.
Karlsson has a goal and I think an assist tonight.
Who are you guys facing?
The Jets.
Are they winning or are they losing?
I think we're losing to them. It was 3-1 at the end of one, and the Jets were just absolutely swarming us. Yeah, 6-2 right now.
How bad are the Stars beating my boys up?
Oh boy, that wasn't pretty.
I stopped after 3-0.
6-1.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a kick to the groin. All right.
I mean, the Hawks lost 7-3 the other night to Seattle, but that's.
I can remember a time when we had a good
course
lead.
now,
That was
so
awesome.
Yeah, so Carlson is just the 6th defenseman to ever do it, joining Bobby Orr, who did it a bunch of times, Paul Coffey, who did it a few times, Brian Leach, he was the most recent one, Al McInnes, and Denny Potvin.
Those are some names.
That is a list. All right, what about the Kings? I know we got the dark background here, but and of course you would put in a couple of big.
What
numbers.
a save by Stalock! Holy crap! Sorry, I'm watching
good?
NBA.
God, just imagine if they put just a skosh of purple, right? Just a skosh of purple in this.
I remember when Post to Post, when Neil was doing his reaction videos with the GOAT on it, and they did this, and Brent summed it up perfectly. This is awful. This is just not good.
I don't like it, but there's a thing with it that I do like about it. This game took place at Air Force Academy.
Mm-hmm.
What LA did, they based the jersey off of the old P-51 Mustangs from World War II era.
Really?
Whoa.
If you look in the collar, it's the checkerboard collar.
Okay, I see it.
Okay.
I have a model over here. Hang on.
Oh, he actually has one of the planes?
Yeah.
Dude. And now, I'll have to show you. I'll have to post a picture of this on Instagram or something. But
Okay.
have you heard of like the book Fabric of the Game by Chris Kramer, who runs sportslogos.net?
Yeah, I have it.
No, I haven't.
Oh, cool. I was just wandering around downtown Spokane last week, and I went to a bookstore. I go to the sports section. I'm not looking to buy anything, and there's that book front and center, so I picked it up. But I was gonna say, Nick, dude, you could write a book just like that.
So,
Oh yeah.
here's a P-51 Mustang model that I have, a miniature diecast. It has the same checkerboard pattern, kind of same black to white out to on the tail way. It's the same black to white, kind of a bad shadow, but it still shows if you can kind of see my light. Yeah, here. So it goes black to white on the tail, which is the same design as kind of the jersey itself. They took a lot of inspiration from this aircraft. And for the fact they did that, I put this as a B.
Okay.
Even though I don't like the look of the jersey.
And I'm sorry, Dan. What was your grade for this? Oh
No, I didn't give a grade, but I'm actually just having fun listening to Nick give me a history lesson here. That was actually really fascinating.
Sure.
Now knowing that it's gone up, if they actually did do that for those reasons, I'll go B.
All right.
I remember game being at in Colorado Springs. I actually looked into tickets. That was about a 6-hour drive for me at where I was at the time, and the tickets were just so ungodly expensive. But
I heard what was even worse was the traffic getting down that corridor.
Apparently, people got into the stadium in the second period.
You know what? And you know what? I was gonna grade this as a C because the collar is amazing, and I like the little whoosh effect on the letters, even though there's no real logo. But you know what? I'll tip the cap and give some credit where it's due. I'll give it a B as well. Why not? Thank you so much for sharing the story behind that.
Yeah, that was actually really fascinating.
The reason why I knew about this is being an aviation management student, I've always have a fondness to old warbirds, and my favorite aircraft is the P-51 Mustang, and this isn't my favorite paint livery of a P-51. Mine is probably from the Red Tails for the Tuskegee Airmen,
Sure.
That's a classic look. But I just knew about it, and when I saw it, I thought it was a cool idea what LA did with it.
Right on.
Well, speaking of Jets, guys, I am going to have to get going, but this has been fun.
All right. Hey, Dan, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll do this again soon enough.
I appreciate it, man. You guys have a good one.
All right.
Take care.
All right. So we've got 4 jerseys left. Beginning with Nick's favorite team, the Nashville Predators.
Again, need a trash tier because Trashville, as this jersey is terrible of how they did the font, the logo being the guitar pick. I thought it's a good idea. They could have done it as a full logo, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And there's no contrast to help the jersey, to just give it, maybe if they put a little bit of silver on it from taking from their old jerseys from the early 2000s and to mid 2010s, take that silver, put it on the jersey, help it kind of contrast the jersey from being navy to yellow, hard with no just balance color. It hurts the jersey a lot, and I have to put it at the low D range.
And you know what? Even being a Hawks fan, I'm sure that, or outside of that, you would probably critique this as being this poor. I like this the template of the jersey. I like how the armbands are lined up. Yeah. I think just really, it's just the logo treatment is horrible with this.
Yeah.
Everything else I actually like quite a bit. I mean, the numbers were okay. They weren't anything spectacular. So I would probably rate this as kind of like a high C. But given your take here and Mike as well in the comments, we'll put this at the front of the D tier.
Okay.
All right. Now we get to the Bolts.
The best Bolts jersey made in Tampa's history. I will say that. Do I like the idea when they do a Bolts jersey? Not really, because they aren't the Bolts. They are the Lightning. If you know anything from what Phil Esposito has ever said, he said when they first released the Bolts jersey, he said that's not the name of the team. It's the Lightning. And I will have to agree there. Like with Carolina doing a Canes jersey, Tampa doing this Bolts jersey, and the other 2 Bolts jerseys that came before it. It's the best look of the Bolts jerseys. I like the way they did the word Bolts to kind of format into a Lightning bolt, but not truly that well. I would say it's a B, but it's like middle range B.
Mike likes this one quite a bit. He's going to grade this as an A. Yeah, to me, this might... like the Storm jersey is fun, right? Because it's just butt ugly. But if you take that out of the picture, I would argue that maybe this is the best Lightning jersey as well. I love the silver on the letters. That is just a great accent, especially since most of these jerseys are two-tone, as we've seen with a lot of them. Well, not all of them, but with some of them. Yeah, I know this doesn't actually have like a real logo to it, but it's got character, and it's so much better than what Tampa had done with their kind of rebrand as we got into later in the Reebok era.
To basically the Toronto Maple Leafs with Red Wings jerseys.
Right. Exactly. So when this came out, I wanted to buy it. I wasn't buying jerseys at the time, but yeah, to me, it's in probably my top 5 or 6 Stadium Series jerseys. I personally like this a ton. I would actually elevate this one to an A, and I would put it on, I think just based on what we're seeing here, the only jersey that's graded out better was the Maple Leafs.
What's interesting right now, the white jerseys are ranking better in Stadium Series than any of the color jerseys, which, frankly, if you do a white jersey, you can make a good-looking jersey because every team has a white jersey, and if you know how to make a good looking jersey and it's on a white base, you can make a really good jersey. If you do a color jersey, sometimes you can really screw it up in Stadium Series. That's what was happening for a lot of time.
Got like air trapped in my chest here. Come on. All right. And yeah,
Hawks are out shooting
I've-
the Wild 5-3 right now, which is shocking.
Wait, who's beating Minnesota?
No one. The Hawks and Wild are tied at 0 apiece, but the
Oh.
Hawks are out shooting the Wild 5-3. 10 minutes of play gone down.
Yeah. Doesn't help they don't have Kaprizov, that's for sure.
I believe he came back today, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really?
Because
Wow.
I saw that they cleared him to play. Maybe
Okay.
he's not playing tonight, but maybe he'll play the next couple games to get him playoff ready. Granted, play him against the Blackhawks because he could probably put up a couple goals tonight.
Fair point. All right, we got 2 left, and we'll start with the Carolina Hurricanes.
I love this jersey for Carolina. I think it's their best black jersey they've made. This is my favorite version of the Hurricane logo, with it being black and red, the way they did it. And the fact they brought back the italicized numbers on this jersey from their original jersey, which is a good idea. I think a lot of teams should bring back some italicized numbers because you don't see that anymore. The Hurricanes having it on their 25th anniversary jersey and then this jersey, it works. And I think the Hurricanes can really go back to doing that. And I think I would put this as an A, frankly.
Okay. Could have used a lighter black. Like a charcoal, like a real deep charcoal.
A charcoal wouldn't be bad.
I like charcoal for sure. As a color. Yeah, I personally, it kind of straddles the line for me between a B and an A.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little indifferent on the font with it, but it does obviously add character. The heathering looks good. There's just enough red, considering the logo has so much going on with that.
It gives it the contrast it needs.
Yeah. So to me, I think that this is deserving of an A ranking. Would you put it ahead of? Well, yeah, you would put it ahead of the Tampa jersey.
I would, yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's our first non-white jersey toward the top. I think that's only fair. And lastly, what are your thoughts on the Capitals?
I like what they were going with. I don't think they executed it well, frankly, because I'm not a fan of how oversized they did the Weagle. If they made the Weagle more of a traditional size logo, I think it would look much better. Mm-hmm. And the way they did it is just a sublimated logo with just a little bit of a twill where it's at the head of the logo. Mm-hmm. That's the only tackle twill you see on that jersey for the main part of the logo. If they did a little bit of red outlining on the numbers, it will help it as well. I think it's probably medium C range, so C, where it's right between the Ducks and the Wild jersey, frankly.
Okay. I'm going to put this at the very end of the B tier then, because for me, this is almost, I actually, when I look at the photos, I really like this. I'm not in love with it when I saw it on TV, but I thought at first it was a little jarring, like you said, Nick, with how big the Weagle was. But I'm so happy they finally did that, and I like the idea of how it kind of connects with the arms. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for that reason, to me, it's kind of like the same opinion I have as the A jersey or as the Canes jersey. It kind of straddles the B and the A tier. So I want to make sure it gets a B tier ranking here. And that concludes the Stadium Series, and next year, right? Has it been confirmed that the Panthers are going to host it?
I don't think it has been officially confirmed yet,
Uh,
but it sounds like it's going to be Panthers Tampa.
Yeah, you would think that if it's any team that they're facing, it would be the Lightning.
Wait, if I remember correctly, it's Tampa Bay that's supposed to be hosting at Raymond James Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Because if the Panthers were to host, it would be probably at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably think it's Tampa just because of the fact their stadium is actually closer to their region because the Panthers are still like an hour and a half out of Miami, if I remember correctly. I would assume maybe it's Tampa that's hosting.
Okay. So let's assume that that's the matchup. What would you like to see out of that? That'll be kind of like my last question for you. So what kind of jerseys would you want to see those teams wearing?
With Tampa, I would like to see something where they bring back one of their older logos, maybe the first gen Reebok Edge era logo, and tweak it just a little bit to modernize it just enough. Because I don't think their current logo will work as a Stadium Series logo. If they do something where it's like has a little bit of a throwback, but with modernized like Florida vibe to the jersey, maybe with Tampa they can put a little bit of electric yellow into the jersey, take that from the Storm jersey, put that on like around the numbers and stuff. With the Panthers, I would think maybe consider do a Miami Vice themed jersey because of how successful the All-Star jerseys were this year.
Great point.
A Miami Vice Panther jersey may be a smart move, but I don't know if they would do it, frankly, just because a Florida Panther is actually a brown cat, not a black cat that a lot of people still think Panthers of, but Florida Panther being the endangered species of a brown, almost cougar-like cat.
Yeah.
It makes sense to not go black with the Panthers, but maybe they consider it because it's just a special game if it is the Panthers versus Lightning.
Well, if they were to go that route, I personally would rather see them use the more current Panther design, not necessarily like the Panthers logo, but maybe use the leaping cat that's on the helmet. Like use that one and make it black and have those, pink and cyan accents.
And there goes to the Wild going up.
Yeah.
It's
as forecasted. But yeah, I like your idea. And also like one thing that stood out to me with the Bolts was that in 2018 when they hosted the All-Star game, they used that kind of like it was this neon yellow in like
on the Atlantic jersey.
I really think the Lightning should go with something like that going, well, not as the primary color for the jersey, but
just have it as like an
accent
color.
Yeah.
I think that could work. Because I think Tampa needs an extra color. Currently, they are just blue and white, and I just don't think it works for them because they're in the same division as the Toronto Maple Leafs. And now we're going to see another year of the Maple Leafs Lightning in the first round of the playoffs, which, frankly, I think the Maple Leafs have a chance in actually going ahead and beating Tampa because I think Tampa is just the miles have got to them. They've seemed to be down. But I just think Tampa needs either to add a contrasting color like the black, bring back black into their color scheme, or maybe just put a new color to themselves, like that electric yellow to it, just as an accent color.
Totally agree. And yeah, I mean, the Leafs almost had them last year, and you're right. Maybe that mileage is catching up. They've had a couple of injuries too. I think Jeannot he might be out for the playoffs. I know that he's not what he was last year, but Then again, that's when they kind of splash cold water on us. So I don't know. I really am hoping Toronto wins that series, though.
I kind of think they can. The additions they made in the deadline
Yeah.
might actually really help Toronto because they got a great defenseman in Jake McCabe, who a lot of people still talk down and say he's a bottom deep pairing defenseman. No, he's not. He's truly a top deep pairing shutdown role type of defenseman that any team would love to have in a playoff run. They also acquired Sam Lafferty, who can really help Tampa help Toronto when playing against Tampa Bay on that power play of theirs, because Tampa still has a lethal power play, and Lafferty tends to play a strong PK role because he's knows how to go up the ice for a shorthanded unit. And then they got O'Reilly, who can help, and then
great
signed Matthew Knies last night.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
and he made his NHL debut today.
Oh, snap! Wow.
Yeah.
Not to mention that if you need to play better just defensively as a team, Ryan O'Reilly, you can't find many better players than him.
Yeah.
All right.
He may have had a bad season this year, frankly, but that's because St. Louis was terrible and Bennington's a clown.
Yes. That is something that will always be agreeable on. All right, man. Any final words before we bounce out for this stream?
Nope. I appreciate you doing this, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure, dude. We'll do this again soon. I still want to run streams during the playoffs, so we might even do like casual game streams where maybe I don't do the play-by-play, but y'all can just join in and we can
chime in.
Maybe do something like that.
All right,
man. Have a good night, and I'll catch you later.
All right, take care.